thanks very much. I have to firstly thank Catherine and all the staff at the Book Centre, and to Lorraine and everybody here for having me, for hosting my exhibition, and all the help that you've given me to get this exhibition together. And like you said, it's been an absolute pleasure to deal with you. Any question I had was always answered. Yeah, we can do that. And you did, so thank you. I'm delighted to see so many members of Waterford Central Music Choir here this evening. Thank you all for coming. Singing with this choir has been good for the soul for me, I can certainly say that. And Paul as well, Paul Havard is here from the choir, and Paul is going to be singing after the choir for a little while, so do stay on and have a listen to Paul. So this has been quite a journey to get here today. I've always loved drawing, painting, colouring since I was little, and my late father Mike used to sketch, but you'd have to be very lucky now to see that. He didn't show it to anyone very often. And for me, after the Leaving Cert, I lost touch with art, and it's only when my daughter Leah was born that arts and crafts came into the house again. And I suppose arts and crafts are still full of part of our house. It wasn't really until my mum Betty passed away in 2012 that I felt the real healing power of art when I joined a life drawing class in Tramore with Ger Kendi and later John Conlan. And I can remember the comfort the drawing gave me. It was a physical feeling of calm when I was in turmoil after my mum passing. Over the years, I took part in various group art exhibitions. Now, the thing about it is, I didn't tell anyone about that, in case they came to see it. I remember I did tell Michael about one exhibition, my brother Michael, in the Central Library, and he turned up with me to see it, with me and Leah, and she was very small at the time, and we all ended up with our photos in the paper. So I didn't make the mistake of doing that again, or telling anyone when I had a piece in an art exhibition. And for those of you who have said to me that they didn't know I was into art, well, that's the reason why, I suppose. So how did I go from hiding my work to being here tonight, to stepping out? Things changed for me the last couple of years with losing my brother Michael to cancer. Michael had been living with cancer for almost 7 years. And despite his diagnosis, he found ways of extending his life. He had extensive surgeries, radiotherapy. He really tried anything he could to live a little bit longer. And I remember specifically on one of the last trips to Dublin with him for treatment, he said to me, I really thought I could get an extra few months, even weeks. And now they're telling me there's nothing more that can be done. And still he lived on, much longer than anyone thought. He wasn't ready to go, and I truly believe that he hadn't finished preparing us for his leaving. And during that time, there is anticipatory grief, a surreal time when you're trying to make the most of the time you have together, and mourning what's already been lost. All the birthdays, communions, weddings, sports events, days like today. And during that time, that's when art really helped me cope with all of those thoughts and feelings and emotions. I was able to throw down paints onto canvas or paper and just let it happen. And there was very little planning in that. I just went with it. And then when I started using acrylic inks, and you'll see some of them here this evening, I really had to let go. My experience of using them, I suppose, is a little bit like herding cats. You're just not quite sure what's going to happen. So knowing that something is going to happen, and then it actually happens, and Michael died. And once the shock wore off, the deep sense of loneliness that goes with that loss arrived. And when somebody goes, it's impossible to imagine a world without them. How do you find your way in it? Because it's also scary and dark. I was saying to myself, how do I do this? How do I do this without all of them? For me, there was an added feeling of being lost, because my whole family was now gone, Mum, Dad, and Michael. What I now know is that all the times you've had with the people you've lost are your memories to store, and they're yours to keep and revisit whenever you need to. The memories that come back to you after the person passes, it's like you're getting a bonus replay of things that happened that you'd forgotten all about. And there's also the wonderful stories that people tell you about the person that's passed that you never knew about. And again, during that time, I found great comfort painting while I was thinking about Michael and Mum and Dad. And I was also thinking about all the other people that we've lost, particularly those in recent years. William's sister Marguerite, my good friend Kay, my cousin Helen, and of course our little dog George. And allowing myself to paint gave me hope. And it certainly kept me going on the worst days. The days that I like to call the wading through wet cement days. The days when the loss is so exhausting. There's very little that you can do. And it's a big effort to do it. And those days pass with the help of family and friends. And for me as well, counselling also helped me process my grief. Because my counsellor knew I painted, they encouraged me to draw and paint after a session. And it was here that I first thought and spoke about holding an art exhibition. Nearly 2 years ago now, in memory of Michael. And I wanted to have that around the time of his 65th birthday, which was last Sunday, St. Patrick's Day. So when that thought came up, and when I spoke to family and a close friend about it, they all said the same thing to me. Why don't you do it? What's stopping you? And I suppose the only person stopping me was me. And I realised that since Michael is gone, I'm no longer the person I was before he left. And I thought of everything he'd been through and the courage and bravery he'd shown throughout his illness, and surely I could do something to allow myself to be vulnerable, to share my story and to share my art. So here we are. So, this exhibition is dedicated to Michael's memory. Nature, the woods, the sea, the moon are all part of this exhibition, and I hope you enjoy it. I poured my broken heart into it, and my wish for those who may need it is that they find a little bit of hope when they look at one of those paintings. So, I have a long list of people to thank. Not too long. You're closing at 9 o'clock. So I have to thank William. Whenever I said those 3 words that every husband or partner loves to hear, and they're not "I love you," the words "I was thinking." You took it all in your stride. You held me keep calm, and you got me here. So thank you for all your support, and you helped me with everything. Mountain prints, framing, branding, everything. Thank you. So Leah, I have to thank Leah as well. Thank you for all your help and your honesty. Which at times I had to put a crash helmet on for, but you kept me very grounded, so thank you very much for that. And I'm sure you're delighted that the obstacle course that was on the land for the past 6 months is now gone. You can get in and out of your bedroom in one piece. To all my friends and family who supported me, who pushed me when they knew I was ready, and I certainly didn't think I was ready, but you knew. Sandra, Gillian, Diane, thank you all. And of course we can't forget Beth. Thanks to all of you for looking at my paintings, my prints, sketches, and your kind words of encouragement, and all the problems you helped me solve along the way. And there was few of those. I have to thank Michael for pushing me off the cliff, to make that leap of faith, to take early retirement and to concentrate on my art. And I know that he was behind me, giving me the odd kick when a push wasn't enough to move me on. So thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you who took the time to come here this evening. Your support is really very much appreciated. And I want to say thanks to the people who couldn't be here tonight, but who sent such lovely messages of support. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. I just have a few words for you to think about. They're from Donna Ashworth. On those days when you miss someone the most, as though their memories are sharp enough to slice through skin and bone, remember how they loved you. Remember how they loved you, and do that for yourself. In their name, in your honour, in their honour. Love yourself as they loved you. They would like that. On those days when you miss someone the most, love yourself harder. Thank you very much.